Hey everybody, this is Doug Mart from Shed Talks. Thanks for coming by and stopping in to see us again. So we started off last week with our first introduction to Shed Talks. We're going to talk about some business processes, different areas where you could probably improve training. Occasionally we'll go to places and we'll have a wonderful, customer service experience that we're going to want to talk about because obviously that staff did a heck of a job training. So to start out with, I actually recently went to dinner. My boss Dave was in town and we were doing some work. And it got to be a little bit late where I am, so we decided to kind of drive into DC a little bit. And we went to an awesome restaurant right in the Silver Spring area. It was really, really nice. And we sat down. First of all, the person who greeted us at the door, awesome guy, just really kind of friendly. The place wasn't that packed at that point, so he was like, hey, just have, if you want to sit out back, head out back. Want to sit up front, I can get you guys seated right now. And it was nice, so we wanted to sit outside and eat. So we walked down and headed out to this little outdoor patio area, really cool. This is kind of like maybe more like a sort of fancy pub food, I would call it. And we got introduced to our waitress, super nice, really friendly. We asked her a ton of questions. Dave and I, when we go out to eat, we love to try new things. So we always ask for explanations. We ask for, what are your favorites? And the thing about that's always weird is, what are the chances that a waiter or waitress who just met me for the first time is going to know what I want? But for some reason, I feel inclined to ask that question every single time. And regardless, our waitress was really great because she actually talked a little bit about, what were some of her favorite things on the menu. She knew where things were being made. She knew what the ingredients were in things. She really had studied her craft. And that's going to be another talk later on about studying your craft. But this girl really knew what she was doing and gave us some great suggestions. And it was pretty wonderful. I mean, the food came out. It was awesome. We just ordered 2 entrees. We didn't order any appetizers. And both of us just absolutely loved our meals. And our waitress came by to check on us several times. That was great. And then at the end, she came by and basically said, hey, here's your check. And Dave and I were both kind of thrown back a little bit because if anybody's met Dave before, they would know that Dave likes coffee more than I like anything. And the opportunities were there for an upsell because we were having this tremendous meal. We'd asked all kinds of questions during it. We would have thought she would have at least asked for coffee or possibly dessert. She had actually mentioned where they do their desserts from as well. So it's just kind of a weird opportunity possibly, missed by her. And the other thing that was interesting was when we sat down and asked so many questions, she never made any suggestions as far as things that we might want to try for an appetizer. And we would have been a pretty easy sale for somebody. We were hungry, it was late, we'd asked a ton of questions, all clues to the waitstaff that there's some opportunity here. And we always talk about the importance of upselling and what that does for the business. I mean, everybody wins in this scenario. The owners of the restaurant are going to win. There's going to be more revenue brought through your restaurant if we're kind of selling bigger ticket items, if we're actually upselling and making suggestions for things like maybe an appetizer. Have you tried this salad? We've got a wonderful dessert. Would you guys like some coffee at the end? There's just a bunch of opportunities there, and we seemed like the perfect guys to be upselling to. And there were so many different things that we wanted to try as well. So one of the big things I always talk to people about when I'm doing demonstrations of my online learning system is, if you're training your staff, there's probably some things that you don't always think about that's probably going to help your bottom line. And that one of those things is teach them how to upsell. Don't assume that they know how to do it. Don't assume that they took some training somewhere and that they learned that along the way. Teach them yourselves. There's tons of videos out there on the internet that you can get for free. You don't have to buy a learning management system to do that, but you do have to train your staff. So it's one of the most important things. Training is really kind of the key to any successful business, as we always talk about. They're the face of your brand, they're the face of your company. People are so quick to do reviews these days that you really want to make sure that those are good reviews as well. So that's kind of basically the topic for today. The takeaways for today: invest in your employees, train them how to upsell. It's going to help your business. It's going to help them make bigger tips. Overall, everybody wins. The customer's happier because they got to try more things. And just remember that training is so important. You don't have to use my learning management system, but you definitely should use somebody's. Empower your employees. Give them a chance. help them be successful. All right, don't forget to tune in next week. We'll be talking about some other fun topics. Cheers. Thanks, everybody.